Okay, so this cover lesson is a two-parter, and this is part one. And in part one, we're going to do a brief history of artificial intelligence, or as it's more commonly known, AI. Right, so after you've learnt a little bit about AI, I'm going to ask you to do some reading. And your document you will see with this video linked on Google Classroom. Once you've done that, I want you to do the test on AI to check your understanding. After you've done that, I want you to go into the second video, which will take you through to a lesson after this one, and that is linked to AI, where you will be building a knowledge-based system, which we'll discuss briefly now. In the following lesson, you will then continue to build your knowledge-based system. Okay, so, right, first things first. Artificial intelligence. Well, there's a lot of truth and a lot of falsehood around this. You could argue that artificial intelligence has been around since possibly World War II. And there's this guy here, his name was Alan Turing. Now, he was one of the founders of the modern computer system. Effectively, what he said was that if you could fool a group of humans that a computer talking to them was also a human, then it could be considered intelligent. Because of that, we call this the Turing Test. It cuts neatly through any minor points about exactly what is intelligence, what components make something intelligent, what they don't. There's been a few systems that have reportedly claimed to have passed the Turing Test under certain conditions, but as a general rule, it's arguable to say that nothing actually has passed it conclusively yet. So you have Alan Turing. You could also argue that the science fiction idea of what is artificial intelligence is impacting our lives at the moment. Is it starting to seep in through online entities such as, well, there's Cortana, which is the Microsoft AI, also features in their Halo games, so it's a crossover from science fiction and reality, where if you have a Windows device now and you wish to talk to it, you talk to Cortana in the same way that you would talk to Google or Siri. From the other side of that, we have one of the older giants of computing, which is IBM. IBM started the project back in 2006 called Watson. Back in 2006, there was just this idea of them making an integrated artificial intelligence. Before that, they'd actually built a computer that could successfully beat Garry Kasparov at chess. And, however, arguably you could say it wasn't a true intelligence system, it was more a knowledge-based system, which we will come to later. Anyway, after they created this large computer system, IBM basically make big computers. They've been around since the dawn of the typewriter. In fact, they created it. They're the people to thank for the QWERTY keyboard that you type on. So they created this AI called Watson, and they've actually got Watson to win Jeopardy. Now, this is a big thing if you're an American, as Jeopardy is kind of like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. It's a big quiz. where you need to have sufficient general knowledge to pass, but also you need to have a level of insight. It's not as simple, you ask a question like, in which town was Bletchley Park based, where Alan Turing worked. That's comparatively easy for something like Google to do. It requires the end user to have a level of initiative and intuition into where the question's going beforehand. So it won Jeopardy against humans, which was impressive because it showed that it understood how humans think and can predict conversation, as well as having a knowledge base. The next thing it did, it started to get commercial, and they've actually got Watson going into healthcare. They're not the only people doing this. Microsoft have also now pledged to cure cancer within the next decade using mathematical reasoning and artificial intelligence as well. So they figure that any system is, whether it's biological or computing, responds to certain laws of mathematics, and by using smart enough and wide enough knowledge, it's what we call both depth and breadth of knowledge, you can solve almost any problem. It would be good if they do succeed. So Watson went into healthcare in 2011. It then moved into financial services shortly afterwards. Not the biggest thing in the world for it to do, in the sense that you're looking at money, advice and prediction, which computers have been doing in the financial services for a very long time. The big thing that's actually impacted on the news, however, is industry solutions. There's very recently a company has laid off over 30 workers and replaced them with Watson. The cost is in the millions, however, the payback is actually only 2 years. So they say not only will it be cheaper to use artificial intelligence to do the job of these 30 highly paid employees, but also it will be more efficient. Now, one of the things, it would be good if you have time at the end of the lesson, you can actually go on to Watson. I've got a little challenge for you, but we'll come to that in a bit, about one of Watson's other demonstrations, which is Watson Cookery, where you can actually get Watson to recommend a good recipe based on the ingredients you give. Right, so AI is expanding at a rapid rate, and as of last month, it's pretty obvious that we are going to encounter artificial intelligence ever more increasingly in industry and at home. The one thing really to look at is artificial intelligence is based on the supercomputers. When we interact with it at home, we're interacting with it through the communication device, whether that be a telephone or the internet, or a wirelessly connected device such as talking to Siri or Cortana or Google via your mobile devices or your Android tablets or whatever. So I think it's useful to you to have to start a basic concept and understanding of what really is artificial intelligence, how it started and where it's going to from there. Right. Okay, I've talked for a bit now, so what I want you to do in a second is I would like you to read the document, complete the quiz, and then watch AI Part 2. Okay, thank you.